Okay. So, should we address anyone who may be watching in these? Did we address them?
Should we address them?
I don't know. I'm asking you, audience. Please let us
Probably
know.
not.
Let us know if you want us to address
You're
you.
addressing them.
I don't know. I've never been in charge of doing a podcast before. I'm just winging it. That would be kind of funny though. Like half of the audience like does comment and they're like, don't address us, and the other half doesn't comment, but they want us to address them. So it's like the exact opposite.
Maybe, just maybe, they should get off their asses and comment.
Wow. You're calling them out before we even have anyone watching.
Exactly.
That is a brave choice.
I'm being prepared because if people go back and binge watch our podcast for whatever reason, I want them to know we planned ahead.
You planned for the sass?
Damn right.
Oh god. Okay, so the reason I wanted to talk today, and I'm super triggered, okay? And
super triggered.
I am super triggered, and I didn't want to be. I didn't go into these articles just to be upset. But you know how the last couple of Star Wars movies have been kind of thrown under the bus, right? They're like, The Last Jedi, it's all about subverting your expectations and never questioning authority and all of these backwards ideas. I still had fun seeing that movie, but there's such a negative stigma around it because it was built around subverting your expectations. And they are turning Rey into a Mary Sue of characters, which is a common argument with the new Star Wars trilogy.
I totally thought fucking Leia turned into a Mary Sue.
And why do you say that?
Never once has she been seen using the Force at all outside of sensing whoever the fuck dies. And suddenly she's able to pull herself all the way to safety. I call bullshit.
Okay, so two things. See, I don't remember this at all, but I've heard so many people talk about it, that she had a telepathic communication with Luke out in the 6th episode. And I don't remember that at all. But people
when he falls through... No, I don't think it was the... it was the 6th one where he's in Sky City, he falls through the tube, he lands on that wire outside.
That's 5.
Oh, that's 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, then it was 5, not 6.
Okay, I'm getting my my numbers mixed up then. But people say, that she has shown abilities for the Force or whatever.
She's shown... Well, I mean, you don't
minor.
really need the Force to have somebody else use the Force on your mind to, like, do the whole telepath thing. So, I mean...
Alright, well, anyways, I'm gonna kind of rail us back to the whole reason I'm just really upset. So there are just a ridiculous amount of articles because Solo didn't do so well.
Solo was a giant pile of shit.
Solo was not that good. Like, I went in completely blank, no expectations whatsoever, and I came out like, I guess it's a movie. I guess this is considered canon. And it ruined a lot of the mystery of Han Solo as a character, so I feel like, if anything, it lowered his personal value in the original trilogy. Like,
oh no.
It did. It ruined the mystery of the Kessel Run.
But all the dedicated fans knew of the Kessel Run, though.
Well, Disney changed it, and we all have to deal with that.
I don't care what Disney changed it to. It's still going to be a drug run.
Well, anyways. I was on my phone on my break at work, and every time I open a new tab, which I have, God, I have 65 tabs open right now. I need help.
Why?
'Cause
Why?
so much music that I can literally just flip to. Anyways, it gives me like 10 suggested things, and usually something like, oh, Transformers. Oh, I like Transformers. I'll look at it. Or, oh, it's, about a game that's really popular. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I understand why they're trying to send that to me. And then there are the endless articles of Star Wars with people who are writing them in a very pandering way. And let me explain. Okay, this is I'm not gonna call anyone out here, not super call them out. Okay, well, I'm not gonna click on that until later. But it says, this Star Wars analysis will end the debate about Luke Skywalker's character in The Last Jedi. You know, the Luke Skywalker that seemingly all the fans hate and even Mark Hamill hates. The tagline for this is "Sorry, haters," by Matt M. I'm not going to go into further for that. And they start this off, okay? I'm just going to read this first section. To be perfectly clear, I thought Star Wars The Last Jedi was an absolutely entertaining children's movie. However, it's been somewhat more entertaining to watch the furious debate about the film in the last 7 months since it was released. There are those, like myself, who thought Rian Johnson made the most complex Star Wars movie to date. One that shows growth of beloved dynamic characters who face both triumphs and challenges. Then there are those, okay, this is the part that's really just, every article is like this. Then there are those who think the movie should have been populated by only hot, white heroes with lots of abs doing manly things. Every single one of these articles that pops up in my feed is like this. Oh, it's ruining the fact that we had a white male protagonist for the original trilogy and a white male protagonist for the prequel trilogy. I don't care if the main character is white, if the main character is black, if the main character is Asian, if they're Indian. I don't care. I don't care if they're male. I don't care if they're female. I want an entertaining movie. I want it to feel thematical like the other Star Wars movies. I want there to be a sense of yes, I can believe that this character is in this role. I can believe that. Oh, by the way, Matt M. is a white male. And he's pandering so hard to all of the people who think that, oh, white males are ruining Star Wars. I just, it's really infuriating because, I mean, Rogue One, okay? That's the first Star Wars spin-off live action movie that isn't the live action Christmas special that we don't like to talk, but it's the first one of the spin-off movies. And it starred a white female, and it had they had a diverse cast of characters, a very sassy robot, which sassy robots are the best, and it was a good movie because even though it was a little more gritty and to steal this line from was it Call of Duty? The World War II one, boots on the ground. It was more boots on the ground and nitty gritty than I feel a lot of the other Star Wars movies have gotten, but it was good. I could feel like I was in a part of the Star Wars universe, stuff going on in Star Wars, and it didn't require that very last scene with. By the way, lots of spoilers for this podcast. I'm just putting this.
Spoilers? This thing came out like 2 years ago.
I don't know. I'm saying no.
Is blind.
The whole thing, the whole podcast is spoilers. So if you want to avoid the spoilers, just go to the very last like 2 seconds of the podcast. Give us a thumbs up for avoiding your spoilers. But you know that the last scene in Rogue One, the one that everyone remembers, is Darth Vader, just
Kicking
wrecking everyone, destroying them, even though his movements aren't exactly like I think he's a little more agile than he's supposed to be, being considered of how he was rebuilt. Whatever. I don't care. That scene is amazing, but the movie didn't need that to be fantastic. It was just like a goddamn cherry on top. It was a great movie that I enjoyed from start to finish with a female lead, and it was great. And then you go to let's skip forward. Let's avoid The Last Jedi for a minute. Let's skip forward to Solo. Solo tries to, I don't want to say humanize. It makes you want to try and empathize with Han Solo. It does. That's like the whole point of this movie, is to like, oh, even though he's a badass rogue character who, he might betray you. You don't know. He's kind of like the Jack Sparrow, I want to say, of Star Wars, where you don't 100% know if he's on your side sometimes because of, his shady past. He's a smuggler. He's in it for the money.
Han shot first. That's all I gotta say.
That is the only thing that Solo got right. That is the only thing. Because there's a scene right towards the end when a bunch of boring stuff happens, and they do the Kessel Run, and then they meet the bad guys, and actually the bad guys are rebels, so they're the good guys, and Han turns this fuel over to the rebels instead of cashing it in for the money like his character would make you think before that. Like, he didn't get roped into all the rebel stuff until episode 4. But anyways, they try and undermine his character progression in the original trilogy by just flat out telling you that he's the good guy, and that you'll always be the good guy. And he tries to play it off. Oh no, I'm in it for myself, and everyone else around him is like, no, you're the good guy. When Han shoots first in that movie, which again is the only time I felt that this actor in any capacity felt like Han Solo. It was the only instance in the movie that I could believe it. All of the rest, I couldn't believe it. He doesn't scream the Han Solo of Harrison Ford. And I know that's unfortunate. It's unfair for the actor. Because, I'm sure he was trying his best. And I just feel like there could have been a better casting, maybe better directing. Definitely not a lot of this, you're the good guy, you're the good guy, you're the good guy thing. But when he shoots first against his rival, who was his mentor up until that point, his mentor's like, "You're smart, I would have shot you if you had kept listening to me," and they're trying to justify him being a quote unquote murderer by downplaying it, oh yeah, you made the right call, and I was gonna shoot you, and I was gonna kill you dead, and you were literally just defending yourself from future me. It's like the new Star Wars movies are making well-known characters just not like they used to be at all. They're ruining dynamics that were put in place in the original trilogy. And it's not that, every person wants to have a white buff male lead, and that doesn't matter. What they want is a genuine Star Wars movie They want a Star Wars. They want to feel invested in these characters that they already know. They know how their arc ends. So they kind of, and people weren't even really all that excited for the Solo movie to begin with. I'm sorry, please. You can interject anytime you want. I know I've been ranting for a bit.
The problem that I have with the Solo movie is it was just too close to the fourth movie. That, like, it's not like Han was super old in the fourth movie. He was like 20s, maybe 30s, somewhere around there. There just wasn't all that much that could have happened in that time. It does not take a lot to, be wanted by the mob, basically. So, I mean, where he started in the fourth, I mean, that Harrison Ford wanted him to die in the fourth movie. So, I mean...
Oh, I know.
It's no big secret that Han was a jackass in the fourth movie. And Harrison Ford thought, hey, this would be a great end to said jackass character. But then, no, everybody wanted him to live. And now they're trying to portray him as something he never was and never was supposed to be. And that's what's really pissing me off, is Disney's just like, nope, everything needs a happy ending. And I mean, if you look at all their animated movies compared to something like Pixar, even though technically Disney owned Pixar, Disney has all the super duper lovey good endings, and the Pixar has the super deep philosophical stuff. If Pixar had directed the new Star Wars movies, hell, if Pixar directed the new Han Solo movie, I can almost guarantee that we would have had the darker version of Han Solo. But because Disney's doing it, it always has to have a good ending. It doesn't matter what the fans think. It doesn't matter what the fans want. It doesn't matter.
That's very true. It doesn't matter what the fans want, which we can segue into The Last Jedi. and The Last Jedi is a movie that, and I've said this before, I'm literally quoting, okay? Subverting expectations. They knew what the fans wanted out of the movie, and they said, fuck that, I'ma do my own shit, deal with it. And I'm not saying that I don't like The Last Jedi. In fact, I think out of all my friends, I'm the one who likes it the most, because I can sit down and I can have a good time with The Last Jedi, and I'm not constantly just picking it apart or anything. It has flaws. Every movie has flaws. It has just stuff from the first movie that literally leads nowhere, or they completely gloss over it or change. Like the relationship between Finn and Finn and Rey. Finn and Rey, no, I know what band you're in, okay? I know what band you're in, but just
no. I'm not gonna lie. When I was watching The Last Jedi, thank God it was on Netflix, I, honest to God, skipped over the entire fucking time that
Are you talking the Canto Bite scene?
I just skipped over from the point that Finn left the ship to the point Finn got back, basically, because frankly,
Canto Bite,
I didn't miss anything. It didn't do anything to the story. They literally could have glossed completely over that whole thing and nothing would have happened. Nothing would have changed the story. And honestly, it didn't. I skipped through that entire thing and I didn't miss a single goddamn thing about that movie. I didn't miss a single fucking story plot point.
Yeah, no, Canto Bite was built up to be such an important part, and it was nothing but side quest, which plenty of other people on the internet have discussed in great depth. But the whole reason for that, the whole side quest was basically three things. The first thing, which is something that comes at the very, very end of the movie, is that one kid who just casually uses the Force to show that anyone can use the Force. It's not exclusive to a bloodline or something that the prequel trilogies you know, while they did kind of try and butcher it up with midichlorians, they didn't have to like hold your hand and say, no, it doesn't matter. You're not a Skywalker. That's okay. Jedi existed before the Skywalkers. Look at this whole order. Sith existed before. It doesn't need to do that because those movies already set in motion. You don't have to be someone special to have any sort of connection with the Force or to be able to wield the Force. They would make up characters on the fly who, like, oh hey, this is just a new character, and they're really good with the Force. Deal with it. That was like the prequel. That was the prequels all in a nutshell. And that was something that, well, yes, it does give a good message that you don't have to be a big name to be able to wield the Force and become an important person. That's something that already existed and didn't need to be told again. That was part one of why that whole thing existed. Part two of why that whole Canto Bight scene exists was to try and justify this relationship between Rose and Finn. And I never thought that's what was going to happen out of that. I really didn't. I didn't feel any chemistry. Like, and you know, I can't say that as a definitive, oh, I clearly can tell that this person and this person have chemistry and so and so would.
It felt too much like a high school love type thing than an actual they were meant to be together type thing.
Yeah, whereas, like, just the chemistry between Finn and Rey, I felt that was so genuine. That was real. They did such a good job portraying that they're the new kids on the block. They don't know what's going on, and there's big shoes to fill. But God, they're gonna try their best. I felt an actual connection between those characters, and I didn't feel that with Finn and Rose, and that scene where Finn was gonna sacrifice himself, just go into the battering ram. I thought was gonna be, that really sucks that they're gonna do this to him, but I feel like it is a really honorable way to go, to sacrifice yourself to save, these people who are the rebellion. They are the spark of light. And oh no, just kidding. We need to force feed you this romance that we put into the whole thing. Just, oh God, I'm getting upset. I'm getting upset if you can't tell. Oh. But the whole thing there was just to try and justify this relationship change when, clearly everyone saw that these two characters didn't have any chemistry, and Rey and Finn did have chemistry, and that's what people wanted, except for you. I know. Would you like to tell everyone which boat you were in? Who you think Finn has the most chemistry with?
Finn didn't have any chemistry at all with anybody.
I swear to God, you told me before that you said that Poe and Finn was like your official shipping.
No. It was Reylo, Kylo Ren and Rey. I don't know where the fuck you got fucking. Well, no, I can see Poe and Finn together. Never mind, I could see that.
No, I swear to God, we've had a similar conversation like this before,
if
and that
I don't remember it.
You have said that Poe and Finn, Poe X Finn, Dushinji or whatever that one, those one dirty comics are. I don't remember.
I don't think I sent you a dirty comic way.
No, you didn't send me that. I'm making a joke.
Oh.
I know, it was a very bad joke. I do apologize, everyone.
No, I just don't know what the joke was.
Oh, Dushinji, I think is the name of like a Japanese dirty manga. like an adult themed manga.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, that was in poor taste. Feel free to leave a thumbs down on the video. I do apologize. That one's on me.
Wow.
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 Yeah, I needed to get this all off my chest because I keep seeing, and I think I lost the point a little bit, but I just keep seeing articles on, oh, white men just hate Star Wars and they're all super racist again and they're sexist, and none of that
Wait,
matters.
isn't it sexist to say that though?
I mean, I'm telling you, these people who are saying, you know, they don't like Rey because they're sexist. No, it's because she's there to, everything happens to her. Things don't happen that don't affect her. And some could say, you know, Luke was kind of that way, but I felt like the universe was existing around Luke and he was just taking his part of it, where with Rey, the way that they've built her up to be basically this almost deity figure who has seemingly unlimited potential with the Force, and never seen such amazing Force abilities and just raw power. I don't feel like there's a struggle with her, that she's already like top tier, please nerf, and that just doesn't that doesn't make,
well, you know the theories behind Rey, right? Everybody thinks that Obi-Wan and Queen's yeah, I think it was Queen Satine had a baby. Satine left the child behind, and so they think she's actually a Kenobi,
well, guess
rather
what?
than just some random person.
Well, guess what? That's not what Rian Johnson says. And since Rian Johnson's movie is canon, his movie is canon. That's how it is. And I don't care that her parents are nobodies. I understand like the disappointment, just because there's so many beloved Star Wars characters, and like, oh man, wouldn't it be cool if, you know, Kenobi actually had a family, and you know, they had a secret child, whatever. It's not the Star Wars world that we have anymore, because your expectations were subverted, weren't they? Oh, okay. I'm a little better now that I got all of that off my chest. So how are you? I know we haven't talked in like a day. Oh, jeez. Sigh.
I hate what I really hate about the new Star Wars movies is they literally killed off all the living actors there are, but kept Leia around, even though they said they weren't gonna CGI whatever her actor's name was. Leia's actor's name was Carrie Fisher,
Yeah.
Yeah. They said they weren't going to CGI her into it, but they kind of have to now because she's the only one left alive at the end of the second goddamn movie.
No, they just confirmed that Lando Calrissian, the original actor for him, he's coming back.
So?
Don't you know how big of a deal it is? Because he was one of the most likable characters in Solo. When in a movie like that, where you've got basically 30 pieces of driftwood in front of you, and then an actual character who's trying to match the personality of the original character without being all stupid about it, you're like, oh yeah, I can believe that. He was the best part of that movie because he actually tried to be the character. So now that equals, all of a sudden, he is the most... Whatever, I don't care. Lando was one of the better characters in Solo. Probably the one I enjoyed the most. And them bringing him back... I never saw why he was such um why people said, he was so cool and amazing, and I just felt like we didn't see enough of him in the original trilogy to really define that as his characteristics. But seeing him in Solo, that's again one of the better parts of the movie. So, I don't know. I'm trailing off into thought. Let's try talking about something that isn't Star Wars right now, because God, I am just fed up at this particular moment in time with just all of Star Wars.
Really?
What?
No, I don't know what we're going to talk about now. What are we going to talk about?
We did have a discussion about MMOs in the last one. So maybe we should try for a different genre of games. Like maybe another game besides PlanetSide that you really enjoy, and maybe if it had a sequel, how it has let you down, or maybe how it has made it better.
There is nothing.
There is nothing. There is only PlanetSide. You heard it.
I'm not gonna lie. I tried out World of Warcraft back in high school, and I had a level 90 Death Knight, a level 70 Hunter, a level 80 Warrior. I was up there in the ranks. I'd spent some time in this game.
Okay.
I knew how to play all of them pretty well, to the point where my Hunter, the lowest level, could almost take out my friend's max rank Death Knight. In PvP, it was pretty closely matched, and I don't like Blizzard after this, because back in the day, the whole spill, or what I was taught in school and what my mom taught me, never use your real name, never give out personal information, never do any of that, and blah blah blah. And with Blizzard, unfortunately, when I did that, not only was the person that I made up totally non-existent, but there was no way in fucking hell that I could come up with a photo ID for trying to get my account back. So I lost like over $120 of the game and the DLC, not including subscriptions for the monthly thing, and I lost all that time in the characters, and I can't even make a Blizzard account with any of my existing emails anymore because of this fact. And I'm just not I'm so upset. I just don't play MMOs anymore.
What's kind of funny? So I grew up with the same mentality. Don't ever give out your real name. Don't use your actual birthday. Don't use any sort of personal information. If they're asking you for an address, don't give them yours. Make up one if you have to. Just because the internet was still, I don't want to say super new at this point, at the time of MMOs, but
it was a dangerous place to be, to put that information out, though.
Yes, there were plenty of people who would exploit that information, and there still are. But it's a lot
harder, though.
It's a lot harder now. So kids don't have to worry quite as much about,
if at all.
Well, you still gotta be conscientious of people who would want to take advantage of you, because there are people out there.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Who do terrible things. They'll I don't even want to get into it. They'll do terrible things if you give them any sort of personal information. And
exactly.
A lot of companies, they'll tell you in the email when you sign up, let's use Blizzard, for example, just because we were talking about it. Blizzard will never ask you for your social security number, or they'll never ask you for this or that, whatever.
Even though they ask for a photo ID to, once you're an adult, they ask for a picture of your photo ID to get your account back. I even emailed their support. They're like, do you have a photo ID photograph? I'm like, no. And they're like, well, sorry, we can't verify your account. Bye. And then they stop replying to my emails.
I have a confession. because I too had put fake information on my Blizzard account. I had done that on my Nintendo account. I had done that on almost all of my accounts up until I started having incidents with not remembering what my fake name was, or not remembering what my fake birthday was, or not remembering what my fake address was. And Blizzard was one of the two that I really was having problems with. So I had, contacted them, and they're like, well, can you provide this information? Because my account had been compromised. Someone hacked into my account. And I was like, no, when I made this account, I was a kid. My mom had always told me to put in fake information, so I don't remember exactly what I put in. I can provide you with the email address that I used and the time, or when I actually had signed up for, and everything that should be on my account. And the guy was really cool with me. He's like, all right, well, just so you know, normally that'd be breaking your terms of service. I understand, though, because I did the same thing as a kid. Like, it was a really common thing. I at least I feel it was a really common thing.
See, I didn't get that lucky. No. I went through the exact same thing. I was like, you know what? As a kid, I did this, this, and this because that's what I was told to do by everybody. And they're like, well, sorry, you're shit out of luck. Bye.
Yeah, no, if I was able to keep contact with that guy that I spoke with, who helped me regain my account, I definitely would have led you to him. But this has all happened years before we met.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, see, the other thing that I should probably mention is I didn't get lucky enough to get hacked. Okay, I didn't get lucky enough. What happened was I was using the phone authenticator. Okay. And when I moved, it was like, oh, by the way, your IP address has changed. How about we do this? I had also, within the week of moving, got a new phone with a new phone number. I couldn't keep the old phone. So, yeah, I lost my account because I was trying to be safe about it.
That is very terrible.
If I took no precautions at trying to keep that account information whatsoever, I guarantee that I would never have lost that account.
God, that's just terrible. That's unfortunate. I'm very sorry.
What really irks me is I just got a new phone recently. But guess what? I gotta keep my old phone, and I can even use Wi-Fi on my old phone. That means I can receive emails, and I can receive texts through Wi-Fi on my old phone, which means if this same situation had happened and I had my old phone, I still wouldn't have been in that. I still wouldn't have lost my entire account to that. I wouldn't have lost probably a little over 1,000 hours in that account. And again, a couple $100 probably in after buying the game, after buying all the DLCs, after buying the subscriptions, after doing all that, I wouldn't have lost all that. But
I didn't like World of Warcraft. And I'm so sad to say that, because when I was in school, someone had left under the desk a World of Warcraft instruction manual, like the one that's as thick as a book.
Oh God.
It's a nice solid paperback.
Oh, I remember those.
And it told you so much about the game. And I noticed it under the desk in one of my classes. And, I was like, oh, maybe somebody forgot this. So I just left it there because that's the seat I sat at. And it was there for a week. And at that point, oh, what was this? 6th grade? 7th grade? I don't know. It was either 6th grade or 7th grade. It's probably 7th grade. That book had been under there for over a week. Like, nobody had moved it at all. Apparently, I don't think anyone else noticed it was there. So I I decided I want to read through this. So I put it in my backpack, took it home, and I read through everything. And I had played a few MMOs before. Nothing too nothing too fancy, mostly just like free stuff. And I was reading through this book and I got so excited. It sounded like a freaking amazing game. It
Mm-hmm.
sounded so good. The way the text was, it told you about like these different things you could do. You could do macros to use your spells, and that these are the different classes in the game. Which I think this was a vanilla WoW book,
Uh-huh.
pre expansions, pre everything, just straight up vanilla WoW.
I remember those days.
And I didn't get into it until like the third expansion.
I didn't get into it until I think the expansion after the werewolves.
Oh wow, Curse of the Worgen is the comic book that I had that my mom threw away. That at one point was worth $1,000. I don't know if it still is. That's
Probably since it's older now, less copies exist, etc.
well, it was a hardback, unopened. Like I saw this on the shelf and I wanted it. So and they didn't have any paperbacks. I don't want to get too far into this story, but yeah, I bought it. I never opened it, never read it. I bought it the day that it came in. So, and I worked there, so I know nobody had gone into that, looked at that book. I bought it, I brought it home, and I never read it. I put it away in a box. I don't know why. And we moved. My mom threw it away. So, and I had learned after that, after it went missing, at that time it was worth $1,000 for that because it was such a limited edition print. Anyways, getting back to WoW. I had built up WoW to be this absolutely incredible, no MMO could ever be this good game in my mind. It was so hyped up just from reading this book about just different things in the game, functions of the game, which I used to make games, so like reading about how things worked really excited me. It really got me going. It was like a hey, this is kind of like things that you do, and this is what ours does. And I'm like, oh my god, I never thought to do something like that. Wow, that's so cool. So I had built it up. I had put it up on this giant pedestal, and I never once considered that the game would be nothing like what I had imagined it to be. So by the time I had played it, which was, I think it was Burning Crusade, I think is the one that I got. I had gotten a gift card to a store that I didn't have, but it was, I was able to have enough money on there literally to have the starter pack, like the battle chest they called it at the time, mailed to me. I was so excited. So I'm waiting so impatiently for like the 2 weeks it took to get to me. Ridiculous, by the way, but that's besides the point. I installed it like moments within it arriving, and I played it, and I'm like, what is this? This is nothing like the game I read about. This function is nowhere to be seen. These things aren't what? I was so disappointed. I had played I want to say for about 10 days because I was really trying to get into it, and everything was so mundane, and oh, everything is a fetch quest, and there are no other types of quests. Oh, you need to go kill things? Actually, you need to kill enough of the same things to get enough parts from... Oh, everything was like that. And I'm sure that's just early game MMOs. But it was so nothing like what I had built it up in my mind that I hated it. I really, really hated WoW. And I didn't want to hate WoW. I wanted to love it. I loved Warcraft. I loved Warcraft 2. I didn't really get to play Warcraft 3. I saw it though, and I loved it from looking at it. So World of Warcraft, you know, a game online you can play with so many people, and it's so amazing, and you go to play it and it's nothing like it. And it broke my heart. It broke my heart. I've tried to play it a couple of times since then. One time I had fun with a troll character that I had made, but that was the only one I had even a little fun on, and even then, once I got to like level 20, which is what the free allows you to get to, you can get to level 20, but you can't experience like 3/4 of the game. Yeah, it wasn't happening.
It wasn't happening.
It wasn't happening, and I wish it had. I sound like I'm, you know, broken record at this point, but WoW had meant something to me when I read that instruction manual / lore / that frickin' thing that was probably an inch thick, maybe a little less.
Remember when people actually had to buy those manuals to find a way through the game when they were stuck?
Yeah, I never got into collecting those though.
No. You didn't have to collect them. It was just so you knew where the fuck to go for once. I almost had to buy one for Star Fox Adventures. Almost.
God damn.
Okay.
I love that game and I hate that game.
I know, right?
It's such a love-hate relationship. I love it. It hates me. I'm guessing it's a similar experience for you. You love the game. I only
played
the
it
game
once
hates you.
because by the time I finished it, I was like, God fucking damn it, I'm not doing shit no more.
Did you like Star Fox Assault?
Oh man, I fucking love Star Fox Assault.
You did?
Uh-huh.
See, I felt Adventures was a more solid game. Overall.
Adventures was a more solid game. That is a fact. Thing is I liked Assault just a little bit better.
It does have a lot more of that classic style gameplay, and even though the on-ground sections weren't that great because of the limitations of the GameCube controller and you know, just foolish design choices. Mm-hmm. But I had a good time. Overall, I had a good time with that game. It was just, I had a better time with Adventures. Even though I know it wasn't originally a Star Fox game. Oh, I'm so shocked. Except I'm not, because I enjoy it more because it's a Star Fox game. Because I love Star Fox. What? You're giggling over there about this.
Of course I'm giggling.
Why?
Nerd.
You calling me a nerd? Well,
yeah, I am.
I could say the same about you since we like the same game. So, ha, nerd.
Ha.
Nerd. The last couple of minutes of this podcast is just gonna be us devolving into calling each other a nerd.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say something about the problem is gaming just changes so fast that I think they need to redo the entire Star Fox series.
That's what
make it. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I'm sorry for interrupting you. That's what Star Fox Zero was supposed to be, kind of a fresh start, but everyone hated it. I own it. I never played it. I don't know why I haven't gotten around to playing it.
Don't play it.
What?
You'll hate life.
I already bought it. I bought the one that had both games in it.
You'll hate life.
I already do, so let's do this.
No, the problem is it needs such a fresh start that it almost needs to have a different backstory, a different main character, and a different ship.
So you're saying
that's the type of restart that it needs. Not just some random, oh yeah, by the way, here's another Star Fox game with the same characters, same background, basically. We just changed some stuff up a bit.
So you think we need a new game in the Star Fox universe with just a completely different cast of characters. 100% different cast of characters. And of course, being different characters, they'd have different backstories. But you like fundamentally the idea of the whole Star Fox universe.
Yeah.
All right, I get you. I could be behind that, but I'd be sad if the main character wasn't a fox if it's called Star Fox.
It probably wouldn't be called Star Fox.
What? Okay, pitch me the idea. Pitch me the idea of this new character and you know, their gang of companions and the types of adventures they'd go on.
It probably doesn't even need to be a group of companions. The problem is there's a whole lot of things that you just never get to see, like what's it like on Corneria as a regular, civilian life. What's it like to be in the military? Because the military is constantly calling on Fox for help. Obviously, there's something wrong with the military power there. You know, like what is the rest of that like? You know, maybe you could choose between a squad and the military to see how that goes. Maybe you could just be a mailman on Corneria. Who knows? Okay.
I would play. I would do a mailman 100-part solo let's play.
See, but you know what I'm getting at? Like, too many things are revolved around action in games these days that you don't really. No one's asking the questions anymore. Well, what about these guys? You know, what about the cannon fodder? Basically.
I kind of like the idea of being part of the Cornerian military. Like, that would be...
Or maybe be part of Andross's forces, you know? Maybe once be Wolf.
Yeah, maybe we could take, you know, just the other side of the spectrum. See why they side with Andross. What motivations that they have. Also, the game that you're describing... to me, kind of sounds like a Mass Effect type game, where
yes,
oh god, that would be, but not Andromeda. No, we're talking
not
like
Andromeda. The first three, except without three's ending.
So the first 2.5.
The first 2.5.
The first 2.5. No, I'm just gonna say the first two. First two, they're solid. From start to finish. I want to say the first two would be fantastic if they redid Star Fox. The whole Star Fox, yeah, even if it is Fox again. You know, have him be part of the Cornerian military, and maybe by the end of the game, you know, after you go through all of this suicide missions in the military and being a grunt and going through the whole thing, maybe at the end of it he would finally break away from the Cornerian military and he would start up Star Fox.
Remember because that but Star Fox wasn't started by Fox. It was started by his dad.
Well, I'm just saying, like, okay, so it can be James. It can be James.
Remember
James.
what I said about prequels after the original was already sent out?
Okay. Start over. New character completely.
You know, a lot of things would have to happen in the original game. You get connected to super amazing characters, and then suddenly, pow! They'd have to end up dying because they weren't in the original game.
Hey, guess what? It's like we made it all the way back to our Star Wars arguments of changing things about existing characters. So you know what? No, we won't do that. We will not butcher those characters.
Yeah, we don't want to butcher Star Fox. We want to.
Let's make Star Fox great again. Nintendo, listen to me. We can hire good programmers. They will build the game, and we'll make them pay for it. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm living life on the edge, but you know what? I don't like the edge. I'm gonna go back to the nice big flat land behind me. That is not dangerous at all, and I have no chance of falling off.
I don't know. I think again, they either need to. The problem is Crystal has lasted far longer than any of the other females in Star Fox. Like, the other females have lasted like one game, but like maybe half a game. They've shown up once or twice, and
or
then
they're no longer considered canon characters, so they don't.
Yeah, exactly. And then they just fucking disappear. And the problem is Crystal stayed around far too long for them to do that with Crystal. And I think that's one of the major problems. They tried to make her last, and then they didn't really have any idea of where to go with her. So then they're like, oh, fuck, let's try and get rid of her. And then they had the the DS version
Command.
of Star Fox Command.
Which is no longer canon.
Because people flip the fuck out.
Well, hey, Ivy, no! Oh my god, tell me you didn't just eat that. Oh my god. Tell me you did not eat that. Jeez Louise. Oh my god. Okay, way to actually give me a heart attack. So, I'm sorry to interject here. I got my 3D printed Halo Spartan today, and pretty much no. As I expected, honestly, I expected it to come broken. Guess what? It did come broken. And I had set it down on my printer, which is on the floor, just because I just got it. I haven't really set it up yet. I had set it on top of the printer, the broken piece too, and it's small enough my dog could eat. So she was just over there, like sniffing, and she was up there, and I'm like, "Oh my god, you didn't just eat that 3D printed material, did you? That can't be good for dogs. That can't. No way." Oh, well, hey, guess what? It's been almost an hour, so I think it's time to call this part of the podcast.
But we were going on such good rants. We could make it a two-parter.
We could just continue our thoughts in the next part.
I'm totally not gonna remember our next part.
Well, guess what? It's immortalized. It's been recorded.
Yeah, it's been recorded, but not even the first one has been uploaded yet.
That's true. So we're kind of making these, I don't want to say in bulk because we're spacing them out. I'm just really slow at making assets. And to be fair, even the name of our podcast at this point has not been finalized.
Maybe we should have made assets before recording?
Maybe you have assets.
I'd hope so.
You'd hope so. I know, super good burn right there. You're gonna need some ointment for that. Okay, I think we're done though.
We're done now?
Yeah, I think we're done. So thanks to anyone who decided to watch. This time you actually knew it was a podcast going into it. Unlike last time. I'm sorry for springing that on you.
Like it was a big surprise.
I know. We've talked so long about doing podcasts just because we go on such big rants with each other.
I mean, you did, but like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes before talking to me, how would you feel about randomly being recorded? You know, I kind of had that, I'm a very, very suspicious person.
Well, yeah, I was suspicious of you since I met you. You're very suspicious indeed. Also, this tracer that's a doggo is the best thing. This okay. I'm gonna have to try and remember to put this on screen so everyone can enjoy. This was made by. Who was this posted by?
I don't know.
I will leave the link to this in the description because this doggo is just too great. Everyone needs to see Tracer Doggo. And that's a perfect thing to end the podcast on. Thank you. Thank you for letting us close on such a positive note.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.